Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to explore the group by and the window functions, and we are going to understand the difference between both and their usage. So let's go ahead and dive into today's video. So we can connect our SQL Server Management Studio to an SQL server using this button or using the file menu. So this is our SQL server which we are going to connect to our SQL Server Management Studio by clicking on the connect button. Now we are connected to the SQL Server. These are our databases. We are going to use this database, and inside this database we are going to use this table for today's tutorial. So we can preview this data using select top 1000 rows, which will display top 1000 rows only. And this is very useful for databases having large number of rows. It automatically writes query for you and then executes and displays data. Since our data has a small number of rows, we can instead use all as well. So this will now display all data, and when we will execute, this is now displaying the entire table regardless of the number of rows the table has. Today we are going to learn about group by function and the window functions. Both are used to aggregate data, and both have different uses. So the difference between both functions is that the group by function collapses rows. It shows only relevant rows and the aggregate result. However, window function displays the entire data and also the aggregated information. So if we look at our data, we have monthly branch-wise sales and profit. So what if we are asked to provide the summary of these sales or profit numbers by branches? So let's suppose our CEO asks us to provide uh, the total profit per branch. So we will use the select command, and then since they asked us to provide branches, so we will select branch, and then they asked us to provide the profit. So to provide the branch wise profit, we need to use the sum function. So we will use the sum of profit as profit from, and now we are going to use the table, and now we are going to use the group by function, and we are going to group the data by branches. So when we will execute this query, now we have branch wise profit of each branch. So the data has been summarized and only 4 rows are displayed, each branch showing its own profit. So there were total 48 rows. However, after using the group by command, the number of rows reduced to 4 only. So this is how the group by reduces the number of rows or collapses the rows. However, if they would have asked us to provide the total profit in front of each row, displaying all data as it is, but also displaying the total profit of each branch in front of their name, we would have used the window function. So let's go ahead and use the window function. So first of all, let's use the select command, and we are going to display entire data. So we are going to use select all, and then we are going to use the window function sum profit over partition by branch as profit as total profit. from, and now we are going to use the table name. So this is the query using the window function. So let's execute this query. And now you can see we have total profit in front of each branch. And this profit will match with this profit exactly. However, here we have detailed information instead of summarized information like this. So you can compare other values as well. So this value is 6974 and this value is also the same. And we can compare these queries by displaying them on the same page. So let's let's create our query like this. And now when we will execute this query, we will have both results on the same window. So now we can clearly see that the total sales of each branch is the same, as you can see. So results are the same, but the method is different and the output is also different. Here data is being summarized and here the data is displayed with full details. Now this begs the question, why do we need to display information like this when we can display information like this in summarized form? So there are many uses of displaying information like this or using the window function. And let me give you an example. For example, we want to display the percentage of profit of each row against the total profit of that particular branch. So all we need to do is to divide the profit by these values. So now we have data in percentage. So this shows the percentage of each branch on each month against the total profit of that particular branch. So once again, we use the group by when we need a single summary row for each group. And we use the window function when we need a group aggregate on every row of the detailed data. You can use window functions in many ways, and to learn more about window functions, visit our YouTube tutorial on window functions, the link of which is placed in the description below. Have a nice day and have fun with your SQL learning.